You're our last stop on our digital press tour.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the last stop. Wow.
Yeah, better make it good.
I have to say, love that you met Meredith Marks.
I'm so happy that you're a DJ now.
How wild. She was so crazy and wild. Obsessed. I was starstruck.
Are you having a brat summer? I'm sorry, what is it again? Is it?
We agreed to Brat Summer Forever.
What exact moment did this idea spark for you? Do you have like place and time?
I think it was sort of probably mid 2024, maybe like after the record came out, probably like end of summer. And I was just kind of thinking about like this sort of transition that I've been through in my life, where I'd been this kind of like relatively like niche sort of artist, and then had suddenly been like opened up to this like huge new audience, some of whom really connected with me, some of whom only connected with aspects of me, some of whom liked me but didn't really get me, or liked the music, didn't really get me, and how to sort of like deal with that. And I think how much you're under scrutiny, in the spotlight, being listened to, watched, is a really interesting thing. I, in reality, think I handled that quite well, because obviously I've been doing this for a long time. It wasn't like I was like an overnight success. Like I've sort of had a very steady kind of a trajectory in my career, but like I think it made me so acutely aware of like how hard that transition can be, and like how in another world I could have made completely different decisions than I did make in reality. And those are some of the decisions that we chose to make within the film. You're constantly pulled apart in a million different directions in my line of work.
Well, I mean, yeah, in reality, you declared an end to Brat Summer. You drove it home with your Coachella set. So I'm curious, why did you decide to take it into your own hands when it could have continued forever? And then what inspired you to encourage your fans to like move on to other artists?
Well, I think nothing lasts forever is the thing, and no one lasts forever. I think I've always known that, and I think it's sort of cooler to just like leave it all behind. But at the same time, Aidan and I have spoken about this a lot. It's like that tension of staying too long is something that we found really interesting, and a big sort of fuel for the initial seeds of the idea of this film, because I think that is something that the sort of like business side of our industry, the commerce side, let's say, they're always like very much like desperate for things to like go on and on and on forever, because you can like generate more financial reward from it. Exactly. That's daily. But we were interested in that. We were interested in that because that is such a reality. And I think, this tension of staying too long is something that has been very inspiring for us.
Yeah, I remember actually in the process of when we were, creating the story of this film, Charlie, I don't know if you'll remember this, but we just FaceTime called each other, and I remember Charlie talking about, kind of knowing culture and knowing the sort of cycle of culture. I remember Charlie saying something like, I know people will get sick of me. Everyone likes me right now, but everyone will get sick of me.
Yeah.
And I remember asking like, well, how does that make you feel? And the sort of personal, the human side of you is like, obviously that makes me sad, and obviously like I'll cry when it happens, I'll be heartbroken when it happens, but I know it's going to happen. So something that was interesting for us when making the film was like, there's if you've got something and it makes you feel good, you'll jump at any chance to try and keep that thing around, even when you're kind of, it's not going to serve you, to stay with it, and that feels true across so many different parts of our lives, whether that is a phenomenon album, or it's a relationship or a job or whatever, so it felt like a very human feeling.
Yeah, that's so real. So the two of you obviously have a great working relationship. How did this differ creatively in your approach versus like the music videos you've done?
was a lot longer. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say, Aidan and I have made like a video in like from like deciding we're gonna make it to it coming out in 4 days. Like we literally made the guest video in like from like the beginning to its released 4 days. So this process was obviously really long in comparison to
Yeah. And what's so fun about like when we're able to do something really fast and something really instant. Yeah, a similar thing actually. We just put out a video for A.G. Cook's track Residue, which is one of the tracks from our musical score for the film. Similar thing. We turned it around so fast. We actually shot that in a half day on one of our press days, basically.
Yeah.
And what's so fun about doing that is how instant it gets to feel. For me, it's like some of the only opportunities I get to feel like you're doing something almost live. Charli obviously plays shows and you get to feel the reaction of a crowd. Most of the time, like if I make something, you've got to sort of polish it and whittle it away, and then it kind of goes out, but it sort of feels removed from you. So that's like really fun. But there's something also amazing about being able to take a lot of time, spend ages together, really have an idea and a purpose that you want to get across, and then spend a lot of time figuring that out, and that's what we got to do with this film.
So how has your relationship evolved? Have you gotten closer? Like, what's the vibe now?
we hate each other.
Yeah, we honestly can't. That's why we have to do this remotely.
It's so much press, and we're like, oh, I don't want to.
No, I think, well, I mean, I hope Charli, you back me up on this. Over the course of the film, I think Charli and I really became best friends. And we were already really close and really got each other. But, it's like, in order to make this film, we had to be so honest with each other all the time. Charli had to share really like the most sort of personal side of herself. And I was grateful that I was able to be someone to talk to and work with, when we were figuring these things out. But Charli, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel. Do you want me to make you feel good? Is that
Say something nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree completely. It's like as Aidan said, we were already, close prior to this, but I think this has just sort of bonded us in such a huge way as friends, but also as like creative partners. Because I don't know, it's like I feel so lucky to have made or been a part of making Aidan's first feature with him. Like I really do feel like he has such a singular vision, and I think the more and more films he makes, the more that's just going to get honed. And I just feel really like excited for whatever you're going to do next, Aidan, and hopefully I
think it might be us together again. Can't get rid of each other. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. So 29 days. You guys filmed this in 29 days. That's insane. What was the biggest challenge with that?
I mean, well, as Charli said earlier, we actually have been used to extremely expedited timelines. So I don't know. I mean, it's the longest I've ever worked on anything. So weirdly, it kind of didn't. It has a really condensed timeline for a film. It's extremely short amount of time to shoot a film in. But yeah, it's. I guess the funny thing is that most of the time I'd at least been used to shooting something, and within 2 days, you've shot everything that you need for that final thing. And so it's funny being like a week, 2 weeks in, and you've maybe got 45% of the film in a box somewhere. So that feels strange to be like, have we got it all yet? You feel like you're kind of waiting in the dark for a lot of it, and then eventually you've got all this stuff that you've got to click together. But what about you, Charli?
I mean, the stamina of it, I think, and as Aidan said, that's not even a long film shoot, but
It's very short.
yeah, for me that was the sort of that was the longest time I've been on set as an actor. And so just kind of like the stamina, I think, keeping the energy alive. And we really tried. I think this was really important to us. And actually, one of the good things about shooting this in such a short amount of time was we kind of could keep the sort of party, chaos, like frantic energy that you sometimes feel in the film alive, because you know we had like 4 weekends together, so every single weekend we would just go out and we would party. And then sometimes even when we were on set, because we were shooting in a rehearsal space, we had a huge PA system, so sometimes Aidan would just like blast the Prodigy. Like whilst they were like setting up a shot, and so it was kind of like this like constant like energy up, which was really, it was cool.
Yeah, we had. I damaged the ceiling of a karaoke place, but I did pay for it. Yeah, because it was just we were just having the best time.
I paid for it.
I paid you back.
You did.
I did.